Now, the traditional ruler of Lagos, Oba Rilwan Akiolu, has appealed for a special status to be bestowed on the former capital of Nigeria. Oba Akiolu made the plea on Tuesday in his palace while receiving wife of the president, Oluremi Tinubu. In response, Mrs. Tinubu promised the traditional ruler that his request would be conveyed to the National Assembly through Lagos state representatives in the legislative body. We're now being joined by Arise News analyst Dayo Shobowale to look at whether or not Lagos deserves such a special status, what form it could take, and how the trigger effects can be effectively managed. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the program.
It's a pleasure being here as usual.
Right. So, when you look at it from a global perspective, the list of countries that have moved their capital city from one city to another, but maintained the former capital city, if I may call it that, it's a long list from Germany to Malaysia to Tanzania. How do you think that, given the dynamics and the intricacies of Nigeria, this is something workable?
You see, I think Lagos already has a special status. But it's all right for Remi Tinubu and Oba Akiolu to ask for special status. I was born and bred there too, so I know what they are talking about. You mentioned other capitals like Bonn and Berlin, okay, Rio de Janeiro and Brasilia. But you see, there's a difference between an administrative capital and a commercial capital. Lagos is commercial capital, whether anybody likes it or not. People flock here. And I think that is special enough. That is special enough. I don't know the way they will draft whatever it is to the National Assembly. But like the first military governor of Lagos State said, he said, our population is 12 million, but we know how many mouths we feed. Everybody is coming to Lagos. And you see, successive governors in Lagos have always tried to look like the president of Nigeria. Because everybody is literally here. It's ongoing. Everybody wants to come to Lagos. It's like that ancient poem. I say everybody thinks the streets of London is plated with gold. So we want to go and have a bit of it. So it's a welcome call. If it's achievable, yes, which I doubt. Because knowing the multi-ethnic nature of Nigeria, once Lagos has a special status, Kano will want its own, Kaduna will want its own, Enugu, and so on and so forth. So I will say they should let Lagos breathe. You get me? Lagos can accommodate all of us. But I have a grouse and a commendation. There are many federal projects abandoned in Lagos, are now occupied by touts and people, homeless people. The former cabinet office, which used to be the administrative center, now set up, is still there. At Moloni, the federal secretariat, Gangantuan building, is still there. The 25-story building, which we used to mark independence, is still there. These things should be ceded to the Lagos state government. They should be ceded to the state and put to public use. If they do that, then they are granting some special status to Lagos. Because no other city has that experience of having been capital and then left, and then still prospering in spite of that. So let's leave it at that. Okay, that's the first one I said. Then the second one that gladdens me, I saw the governor at the NYSC passing out parade wearing the uniform. That was great. You see, those two coppers will never forget in their life. Just like I didn't forget my own passing out years ago. Do you get that? The person who did the passing out who represented Gawan, was Joseph Garba. The following morning, he announced the coup that ousted Gawan.
Wow.
So these guys, these youth coppers of this set, they will never forget that the governor was in their attire when they did the passing out parade. So let's stop there.
I really appreciate all the points that you outlined, saying that everybody's coming to Lagos, mentioning the multi-ethnic nature of Nigeria, also your recommendation about abandoned federal projects being ceded to Lagos State. Now, of course, one of the things is that, or one of the concerns that have been raised is that the government might need to address the potential marginalization of non-indigens in Lagos if the special status is granted. How would you advise that be approached?
I don't buy that's why I said I didn't buy the idea of special status, but it will come with special prices and costs. Do you get me? And yes, it will have a multifaceted effect on the major cities. You know, we were running regionalism before now. Ibadan, Enugu, Lagos, Benin. They will want special status too. And you see, it will create unnecessary ethnic tension. You see, it's not as if you are living in utopia or paradise. You have enough tension as it is, especially at election time. See, it's one man, one vote. But Lagosians will say Lagos, some people say Lagos is no man's land, but people tell you that Lagos belongs to them. So how will you create a special status? Let Lagos be as it is. And luckily, we have had many great governors in Lagos State. Maybe because they've been young men, look at the list. Maybe because they've been young men, they have been so active in making sure that they don't disturb that ethnic balance. Ethnic balance. There have been incidents of political tension and so on, but people have always overcome them. And then one thing you should know, the peculiarity of Lagos is that many people from various parts of Nigeria grew up in Lagos. So that sense of belonging is there. People can always claim their rights in whatever aspect of life or any part of Lagos because they know the terrain. So let's leave it at that for now.
All right. Now, you know, when we look at the disparity of, even if you just look at IGR's internally generated revenues from across the country, there's such a huge disparity. And then, you know, we're here focusing on Lagos, which is a state that we all know is doing incredibly well. It compares to some small countries, even some big countries here on the African continent. Do you think there's some merit to us potentially going back to the outlook of Murtala Muhammad, who created the centers of excellence? Do you think that maybe we should be looking at other Nigerian cities, you know, your Enugu, your Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Kaduna, maybe more in the north, as centers of excellence so that they too can become hubs in a similar way that Lagos State is? Yeah,
you see, you have to change geography now. You get me? You know, Lagos is like a city-state, like Hamburg. It has a port. It used to be colony of Lagos on its own before the colonialists merged it with the Southern Protectorate. Get me? And it has access to the sea. The port is there. The port is the main thing. It brought the port that the colonialists used to enter and change our life and everything up to now. So people are coming down to come and find food to eat, whatever your profession. So you can't compare Lagos with other cities. While Lagos is expanding daily, some of them are drying up. You get me? So that is why Lagos is a mega metropolis.
You're speaking like a Lagosian now.
I was born here, so I love this place.
I can tell.
But when you talk of Lagos, it's not Lagos Island alone. Lagos has gone beyond Lagos. Before, Lagos Island was the issue. But now, some people don't cross the bridge, Kata Bridge then. If you ask them to come and do something, they don't want to cross the bridge. But Lagos has become, like I said, super metropolis. Right.
Great, it's near and dear to you, of course.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier, for instance, Hamburg, when you were making references earlier on. But what lessons can be learned from other countries that have cities that have with special administrative status that we could probably replicate here if we wanted to go ahead with this?
Well, you can always go and look at what is happening in Brasilia. Brasilia is not booming like Rio. Of course. Bonn Bonn is like a dead city compared with Berlin. You know, Germany was split into two before. But when they united, they made Berlin the whole capital under Hitler. It returned to its status. Everybody goes to Berlin. And in the case of Lagos, you see, Lagos has prospered in spite of the shift of the capital to Abuja. And then you ask something again.
No, you're already making the right point. What lessons can be learned from other countries that have
you
cities
mentioned
with
Hamburg.
special administrative status?
You see, Lagos, Hamburg is a port city too. But in addition to that, yes, it has oil. You see, and that is, it's nice we mentioned Hamburg. You know, Hamburg is a city-state in the Federal Republic of Germany. But it doesn't take money from the center. Because it has oil. It has, do you get me? So
Very
it contributes.
beautiful point you're making.
Yes, it contributes. You get me? You see now, if they must ask for a social status for Lagos, maybe only they will not. Lagos will be asked to take care
Of itself.
of even some states.
Yes, that's
Do
it.
you get me? It's like being a big brother to some states. But
I like the idea of a special status in that direction.
Ethnic pride will never allow that. The IGR of Lagos, I mean, is greater than that of some African countries.
Absolutely.
And some states put together. But in terms of size, area, Lagos State is the smallest. See the contradiction.
Mr. Shobale, I'm glad
Yeah.
today we got to enjoy a little bit of Lagosian patriotism.
That's right.
Thank you
I
for
say
your
that again.
insights today. This has
Yeah.
been a great conversation.
Thank you.